convinced that God works miracles, not just from the testimony of Scripture, but from the testimony that I have after walking through what I walked through these last 45 days. The Sunday before Truth and Fire, the Saturday before the Sunday of Truth and Fire, I'd had an arduous week. It's been a really, really rough and very busy and challenging season. And I had a crazy week, and I had to fly to Dallas and do an interview in Dallas, and then speak in Dallas, and then fly back here, and then wake up and do a 2-hour training on a Saturday with a coaching group that I'm leading. And I fell asleep all the way into the evening. And then I woke up in the evening. I had a text from my mom, who was in town visiting my sister and I, and she had said, "Hey baby, I'm in town, I want to see you." And I was exhausted, and it was evening, and I said, "I'll go tomorrow after I eat after church, or on Monday on my Sabbath." I wake up the next morning at 7 o'clock to get ready for church. I pick up my phone, and my sister texts me, and she said, "I had to rush mom to the hospital. The ambulance had to come get mom to the hospital." Now remember, I got the text Saturday, and she said, "I wanted to see you." So I go and I preach the 9 o'clock, and then I come here and I preach the 10:15. And in between services, my wife comes up and she says, "Babe, they got your mom stabilized. They should be releasing her soon." I say, "Fine." So I go and I preach 12:30, and I go home, and I'm in a great mood. I'm getting ready to eat. My wife meets me in the kitchen. She pulls me to the back, and she says, "They had to intubate your mom. We need to go to the hospital now." She says, "You want to eat first, or you want to go now?" I was like, "I don't want to eat." Now remember, she texted me Saturday and said, "I want to see you." So I go to the hospital, and there my mom is, intubated, sedated, tubes everywhere. That's the Sunday before Truth and Fire. The whole week I had to lead my team and prepare for Truth and Fire. The whole weekend of Truth and Fire, I had to lead our team through that. And every health marker progressively got worse, not better. Yes. And every time they tried to decrease her dependency on the machine, they had to increase it. Things got so dire and dark, I went into anticipatory grief. I went to the hospital and I said my goodbye. My dad, practically, positionally, is the patriarch of our family, but functionally, I have patriarch responsibility. And every son that grows up to be a man as your parents age, your father's the patriarch positionally, your mom's the matriarch positionally, but functionally, you have to carry the practical weight of the family. So I knew I got to grieve first, because when she go, I got to lead. So I literally had written the outline for my mom's eulogy. I went into a very dark place. I couldn't keep going up there every day seeing her like that. She couldn't speak to me. She couldn't hear me. So I said my goodbyes, and I did not leave my house for 2 weeks. Dark. Yes. And one day, my wife came into the room, and she said, one of our precious members who was an advocate for my mother, I'm forever indebted to her, Lanish. She said, "Lanisha's FaceTimed me." I said, "Okay." She said, "Yeah." She FaceTimed me and said, "Somebody want to speak to you." And it was my mother who said, "Shamika, bring me some lotion." Last week, my mother was released from the hospital. She's at my sister's house right now. Now, I don't know if this is a short-term miracle. I don't know if this is a long-term miracle. I know it's a miracle. My sister and I, my mother had made it clear to my sister she did not want to be on a machine. She had been on one close to a month. But my sister and I submitted to the leadership of my father because that's his wife. And he kept saying, your mother's gonna be all right. So I was having conversations with my pastor on how to have an intervention. Because I am thinking, my dad was in denial. My dad was in faith. So I don't know what you're writing a eulogy for. But this is what I know. Over these past 45 days, I've seen him move. Move the mountain. And I believe you'll do it again. Tell him, church. When there was no way, and I believe I see you do. I seen you. You move the mountain, and I believe I see you do. You made a way, yeah, when there was no way, and I believe I see you do. So maybe right now you're exhausted. Maybe your faith meter is low. You can borrow some of your pastors today. Because I'm convinced not just by the testimony of Scripture. I'm convinced by the testimony of my own mother that he works miracles. Father, I pray for every person that is about to accept an outcome that is not final. I pray for a resurrection of hope and of